Good afternoon, or wherever you are in the world, whatever time it is. I thought I would drop by and say hello. It is a big day in a couple of days. It's our 31st birthday. December the 3rd is when it all began back in 1993. And now 31 years have passed, which it does seem quite amazing, actually. I do have to pinch myself so often to think that it's been that journey over that time that went from very humble beginnings to the company that we are now. We just did our budgets over the last few weeks. I mean, this year has been our record year. Every year seems to be the record year, but this year has been tremendously successful. Our member base now is over 90,000. We did our 52nd resort opening a few weeks ago in Samary, which I was there. I got my other charm blessed by the Samui monks rather than the Cambodian monks. I'll see which one lasts the longest. I think they're being competitive for good luck. And the company's doing fantastically. I mean, we are currently having about 1,000 new members a month. And so things are very positive. Our budgets for next year show us even going more and more and more. I would never have believed that 31 years ago. It's been a fantastic journey. And in one way, it goes by in the blink of an eye. And in the other way, it's been a long, long, long journey. But anyway, I'll be raising a glass in a moment to toast our 31st. I'd like you to join me in that celebration. A quick overview of what's happening in the company. As always, there's a million things going on. In Europe, it's the low season, but it's the time of renovation. We're investing a lot of time and money in doing our resorts up. In Germany, almost all the units now have been done up to a very high standard. I think there's 5 more yet to be done. I'll be going there next week. In Italy, we're about to commence a beautiful renovation. I think the product itself, the outside is magnificent, but the insides needed a bit of work, and it's all being done 100%. So those of you that have been or will go there, I think you'll love what you're going to see. It's a very well designed interior fit out in both the rooms and in the bar, the restaurant and the common areas. And I was down there recently with the students. You may have seen on the social media, we do this annual teaching assignment at UCLA where we invite students to come and be involved in our resorts. And it's very much a two-way street. I greatly enjoy teaching, and we get some great ideas from their young minds. Carcassonne, we are developing more there over the winter. So those of you that like that product will see some improvements, or I say improvements, some enlargements, I should say. What we're also trying to do, and this may not be till next year, is get approvals to build more units at St. Martin's in the Isles of Scilly. It's been one of our most popular resorts. Again, I'm surprised when I first bought it how magnificent it was going to be, but we are going to try and build some more units there so we can expand that. And elsewhere in Europe, we've got several irons in the fire. We're looking at new properties. Well, I can give you a teaser. We're looking at new property in Scotland, and we're looking at new property in France, and we're also looking down in the Canary Islands. And so expect to see more happening in Europe. That demand has been fantastic for our members to go to Europe, and we see that increasing more and more. Over in India, as you know, the final phase at Hati Mahal is being done. So that renovation will be complete quite soon, and we commence work shortly into the new year on our new developments just down the road in South Goa. Our budgets call for us to do at least 2 more resorts in India this coming year. So expect to see more product coming on, and there's many, many destinations that we could choose from. And also down in Sri Lanka, where we have land, as you know, I think, and we will be developing that, but also looking at buying an existing resort so we can start quite swiftly. Our boats, we seem to have an armada now. The Egyptian boat is doing very, very well. What we're trying to do in Egypt is get some land-based accommodation so people can combine being on the boat with spending a few nights on the shore, because I think that'll make it a much better experience to go for a week or 10 days rather than a 3-day or a 4-day cruise. So we're looking at Hurghada and various areas around there. And similarly in the Maldives, I mean, our boat, Karmaverse, which I absolutely love, incredibly popular. It only launched about 3 weeks ago, or maybe 4 weeks ago, not long. But again, what we're going to try and do is get some land-based accommodation over there so people can go and have a longer holiday to make the travel worthwhile. Thailand, as I said, I've just come back. Well, not come back, I came back a few weeks ago from Samui, which is tremendously exciting, the opening there, and that's doing very well. Our next opening there, see, I like openings and parties, is going to be our beach club. As you may know, we have a very sexy piece of beach just down the road from the resort, and we are developing that at the moment, and we're doing that on the 14th of January, which is a full moon. I haven't been to a full moon party in Thailand for many years. So I look forward to going back and doing that. And I think you'll love the beach club there, and it'll be a great addition to our portfolio. We're also going to do more by Phuket. We're looking at Krabi on the other side of the bay there, and how we can combine both Phuket and Krabi, and elsewhere in Thailand. I see that being a tremendous opportunity for us. Also, obviously in Indochina, Cambodia's open, Vietnam's open, and our budgets call for at least one more in that region early in the new year. It may be a new one in Vietnam, it may be in Laos, it may be in Myanmar. I'm not quite sure yet, but I do certainly think I like the idea of having more. What we're seeing more and more is people taking split center holidays. So we're trying to bracket areas where people can spend maybe 4 or 5 days, let's say in Cambodia, 4 or 5 days in Vietnam, 4 or 5 days in maybe Laos, and 4 or 5 days in Thailand, or whatever it is. And the same all around the world. So we have these circles, or these hubs that people can visit in. So that, I think, will be a good way for us to go forward. Australia, I think you probably get bored of me saying Margaret River. Believe me, I get slightly bored of trying to move things forward at a faster pace. But Margaret River is moving forward. I'm going down to Australia, and I'll be spending Christmas down there, actually, for the first time in many a moon. And we're also looking elsewhere on the East Coast. And we're also looking at the possibility of trying to lease some space. So in the time it's taking us to build or get our own resort, we do have inventory in popular places. So I know some of you who are Australian friends get frustrated we haven't got more, and I do apologize. I also get frustrated, but it is very high on my agenda, and I will deliver more in Australia quite soon. The Indonesia, as you know, or you may know, our vision for Kandara is moving forward at a rapid pace. The hill tram will be open middle of this month, I'm told. I think people will be falling on swords if it's not. And it's important to understand that the hill tram has been working for some time, but we haven't been taking people in it because we needed to get the sign-offs from the authorities so that we could get the right insurance in place and the right licenses in place. And that's now happened. So we're at the final stages of the hill tram, which will mean that we can continue developing down on the beach. We have Warung Pantai, our Indonesian restaurant, which will now be finished off and done properly. We're looking at other things down on the beach, like a beach spa and a beach kids club and various amenities down there. And we're about to start the major project at the back of Kandara, which is the phase 6, we call it internally, but it's the new development where we have 20,000 square meters of construction. We have apartments, we have villas, we have a magnificent pool. We're putting in 3 restaurants, we're getting a very nice gym, a spa, we've got a wine bar going in, a conference amenity. So all sorts of things going in at the land just behind Kandara that I think will add a lot of value to the property. And we're also going to work with our members and villa owners with the villas, if you like, at the front by Samary, and upgrading them and looking at how we can help with a furniture package to bring them up to a really good standard. And parallel to that, we'll be redeveloping Samary, which is the restaurant there, and essentially building 3 restaurants, one on the pool level, one where Samary is, and one at the temple lounge on top. So we've got more food and beverage, F&B opportunities for people to enjoy. Curated events, that's been a great success of this year, and our budget sees us expanding that a lot. As you know, we run these events, we package things. It might be as simple as having members get together. It might be taking people to the Australian Tennis Open. We recently took people to the Melbourne Cup in Melbourne. We've got a lot in Australia. We've got the Bunbury Cup coming up. We've got some rugby events with the British Lions coming and the Australian Sevens. I know a few days ago, a bunch of our members were riding motorbikes through Rajasthan. I know recently we were doing a foraging trip in Italy. These have proven to be really popular. They are selling out, so to speak, or being booked up rather than selling up immediately. So we plan on increasing them quite a lot. So expect to see quite a lot more curated events coming up in the new year. And that ties in with my next point, which is Bangalore. I go there next week. We are expanding our office there quite a lot. We already have quite a large office space and we employ about 300 people, but that will continue to grow. We see great opportunity in Bangalore. We think it's a very fast moving city. It's very dynamic. It's got a very, very good labor force. It's quite convenient for us for various reasons. So Bangalore will grow. And we're also going next week to hopefully sign off on the app. As you know, I've spoken before about this magical app that we've developed, which we think will be a real game changer. And I've seen various beta versions, and it does seem to be moving in the right direction. There's a few glitches, but there always are. But I go next Monday to get the final beta version, and then we'll be inviting some of you, some members of staff, to help us test it. But essentially what it is, it's a live tool that will enable you to make bookings, whether it be for accommodation, curated events, restaurants, spas, or whatever, in real time, because you can see what's available on the screen and you can, punch in and things. It makes you see what you've got in owner's rights and acquire more if you need to, or do various things with them. So I'll talk more about it in the next few weeks, but I hope it'll work. If it works, you can pat me on the back or pat the people that did it on the back, and if it doesn't, you can say, yeah, John Spence, a bloody idiot. We knew that would never work, but I'm hoping that will be an exciting development. Okay, well, let me just finish off with a couple of things, really. Let me give a couple of stories. I was just talking to someone earlier on today about an interview I did the other day. I do a fair amount of media. People wheel me in front of journalists and TV or print media, whatever. And I thought it was quite a relevant comment to share. In the interview, they were asking me many questions about what I did, and they were kind of commenting that I do many things. I find resorts, I might develop it, I build resorts, I get involved in architecture, I sort of dig my nose in all parts of the company. And they say, what do you actually do? Well, the answer I gave them, which I think is true, is the only thing I really do is try and make people happy. And I think I can sum up my job and what I've tried to do for 31 years is try and make people happy. If it's my members of staff, it's to give them a company that they're proud of working with and for, having fulfilling careers, earning money to support families. If it's for our members, who are the most important part of our equation, it's trying to make you happy with the accommodation we can provide, with the experiences, with the locations, with the service, with the food. So I kind of think to myself, that's something I think I've strived to do for 31 years. And I hope I'll keep on striving to do for many, many more years. And I can really only be judged, I guess, if I do make people happy or not. So hopefully as a tick. My second story brings us on to the important part of drinking the wine and toasting our 31st birthday. This last week, I travelled with my brother, and every year since I was very young, I always went away this time of year with my father. When I was young, he took me away on archaeological trips and all sorts of things. And in later years, I took him away, often with my brother, or usually with my brother. And this year, my father passed away earlier in the year, as you may know. So it was the first time we travelled without him, but we still wanted to keep the tradition going. So it was a little sad. But we went and we did some of the winemaking that we did each year. And we also went to a little village in Butenhausen, which is in the Schwabian Alb in Germany, which is where my ancestors, my great-great-great-grandfather came from. And we sat on the tomb, which is, I think he died in 1780 or something. And it was quite a reflective time, but a very good time. But the reason I mention it is I thought the best wine that we can toast with today is one of the wines I made with my father in Bordeaux, which is one of our Karma blends. For those that don't know or haven't worked it out, we actually make it at a place called Lange-Barge, which is a very, very, very famous and successful winery. And I think it's a beautiful wine. I've done it every year with my dad. This year, didn't do it with my dad, so maybe it'll fall apart and be no good whatsoever. But this one that I'd like to raise a toast for is let me show you. This is the 2021, so hopefully that'll be a good year. I haven't actually tried it yet. This is in a Magnum, so I guess if it's good, it's all down to my dad, and if it's bad, it's probably down to me meddling in it. But this will be in our resorts quite soon, so two toasts, really. One is my dad, and I hope we can make wine carrying on as good as what you made. And also to us, and it's 31 years. So it's been an amazing journey, amazing venture. I owe it all to my members of staff. I owe it all to you, our members, and your unwavering loyalty, support, and hopefully happiness. So cheers. Here's the next 31. Well, maybe not next 31, but here's a substantial number in the future. Cheers. Yeah, that's very good. I think definitely that my dad made a good bit of that one.